Stop trading your life for a paycheck. If you stopped working today, how long would you survive? For most people, the answer is terrifying. That is the paycheck trap. But there is a way out, and it does not require winning the lottery or having a genius IQ. In this audiobook, you will learn the exact mechanics of building a passive income engine, a system that generates cash while you sleep, travel, or spend time with your family. You have been taught to work for money. Today, you learn how to make money work for you. Let the escape begin.
Chapter 1. Accept the hard truth. You are trading time for money. Welcome to the first day of your new financial reality. If you are listening to this, you are likely tired. You are tired of the alarm clock dictating when you wake up. You are tired of the commute eating away your mornings. You are tired of checking your bank account on Sunday night with a knot in your stomach, wondering how the money disappeared so fast. But mostly, you are tired of the feeling that no matter how hard you work, you are just spinning your wheels in the mud. Let's get one thing straight immediately. The system isn't broken. The system is working exactly as it was designed. The American economy is built on a foundation of workers who are smart enough to run the machines and push the paper, but not smart enough to realize they are trapped. You have been sold a lie. That lie is the 40 to 40 to 40 plan. Work 40 hours a week for 40 years to retire on 40% of what you couldn't live on in the first place. The root of the problem is simple. You are trading time for money. This is a losing transaction. Why? Because money is infinite, but time is finite. You can always print more dollars, earn more bonuses, or sell more products, but you cannot print more minutes. When you sell an hour of your life to an employer, that hour is gone forever. You have sold your most precious asset for a paycheck that gets taxed before it even hits your hands. You have a choice. You can continue to sell your life by the hour until your body gives out, or you can decide right now to change the equation. The math of the trap. Let's look at the math. In the United States, we are obsessed with income. We ask, how much do you make a year? We judge success by the salary figure on a W-2 form. But high income is not wealth. If you make $200,000 a year, but you have to work 80 hours a week to keep it, you are not wealthy. You are a well-paid indentured servant. If you stop working, the money stops flowing. That is the definition of the paycheck trap. True wealth is measured in time, not dollars. Wealth is the number of days you can survive without working. For most Americans, that number is less than 30 days. You need to calculate your freedom number. Most people think they need $5 million or $10 million to be free. That number is too big, too abstract, and it keeps you paralyzed. You don't need millions right now. You need cash flow. Here is your assignment. Specific, brutal honesty. Calculate your monthly expenses, not what you wish you spent, but what you actually spend. Your mortgage or rent, your car payments, your insurance, your groceries, your utilities, and your debt service. Let's say that number is $4,500 a month. Your freedom number is $4,500. That is the target. The moment your passive income, money earned from assets, not labor, hits $4,501, you are free. You have escaped the trap. You might not be flying private jets yet, but you own your 24 hours. That's the key. Once you cover your basics, the rest is just a game. The mindset shift. Employee versus owner. Why don't more people do this? Why do millions of intelligent Americans march into cubicles every day for 40 years? Because we are programmed to be employees. From the moment you entered kindergarten, you were trained to sit still, listen to authority, memorize instructions, and wait for the bell to ring. That training continued through high school and college. The education system is an employee factory. It does not teach you about taxes, it does not teach you about debt leverage, and it certainly does not teach you how to buy assets. It teaches you to be a safe, productive worker bee. The world tells you that a job is a safe and starting a business or investing is risky. This is backward. Relying on one income stream, your job, is the single riskiest financial position you can be in. You are one bad quarterly meeting, one angry boss, or one economic recession away from zero. When you have a job, you have a ceiling. When you build a passive income system, there is no ceiling. You have to stop asking for permission to be wealthy. You are waiting for a raise. You are waiting for a promotion. You are waiting for the government to fix the economy. Stop it. You don't need their permission. The IRS tax code was written by business owners and investors for business owners and investors. Employees pay the highest taxes in America. Business owners and investors get the tax breaks. The system rewards those who provide housing, jobs, and capital. It punishes those who just sell their time. Time leaks, your initial capital. I can hear you arguing with me already. But I don't have the money to invest. I live paycheck to paycheck. In this audiobook, we are going to fix the money part. But first, we have to fix the time part. You might not have extra money yet, but you have the same 24 hours as Warren Buffett. The difference is how you use them. Where is your time going? The average American spends over 4 hours a day on their phone, watching streaming services, or scrolling through social media. You binge-watch shows about other people living fake lives while your real life stagnates. These are time leaks. Every hour you spend consuming content instead of creating value is a leak in your boat. You say you are exhausted after work. I get it. But if you want to escape the trap, your work day isn't over at 5 p.m. That is when your freedom day begins. From 9 to 5, you work to pay your bills. From 6 to 10, you work to build your fortune. It's not about income, it's about discipline. You have to look at your schedule with a ruthless eye. That 2 hours of Netflix, that's time you could use to research dividend stocks. That Saturday morning sleeping in, that's time you could use to set up an affiliate marketing blog or research real estate markets. You are treating time like it's trash, throwing it away on cheap entertainment. You need to treat time like it is gold. Time is your initial capital. If you have no money, you must invest your time to generate the first dollar. The transformation begins. This journey isn't going to be easy. If it were easy, everyone would be rich and nobody would show up to work tomorrow. It requires you to be different. It requires you to say no to happy hour so you can say yes to your future. It requires you to study when others are sleeping. But the reward is your life. Imagine waking up on a Tuesday morning with nowhere to be. Imagine your bank account growing because your assets paid you, not because you clocked in. That is worth the sacrifice. You have defined the trap. You know the math. You know your freedom number. You have identified the leaks in your time. Now we need to talk about the fuel for your engine. You cannot build a fire without wood, and you cannot build a passive income system without capital. You need money to make money. And right now, you are likely bleeding cash in ways you don't even realize. It is time to plug the holes in your bucket. We are going to turn your finances upside down and find the money you need to buy your freedom. Let's move to Chapter 2. Stop bleeding cash, the foundation of freedom.
Chapter 2. Stop bleeding cash, the foundation of freedom. You cannot fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. In Chapter 1, we established that you need to buy your freedom. But right now, for most of you, that is mathematically impossible. Why? Because your financial bucket is riddled with bullet holes. You work hard, you put money in at the top, and by the end of the month, the bucket is empty. You tell yourself, if I just made more money, I would be fine. Let me be brutal with you. No, you wouldn't.
If you cannot manage $50,000, you cannot manage $500,000. I have seen high-level executives in New York City making $250,000 a year who are broke. They drive luxury SUVs, wear tailored suits, and have zero net worth. They are just high-income poor. The problem is not the inflow. The problem is the outflow. You are bleeding cash. You are voluntarily giving away your future freedom for temporary comforts and convenience. Before we can build your passive income empire, we have to stop the bleeding. We have to stabilize the patient. You cannot build a skyscraper on a swamp. The zero waste audit. Most Americans live in a fog. They swipe their credit cards and tap their phones without thinking. It is a painless transaction. You don't feel the cash leaving your hand, so you don't register the loss. You have a choice. You can stay in the fog or you can turn on the lights. Here is your first actionable step, the zero waste audit. I want you to print out your bank statements and credit card statements for the last 90 days. Yes, print them out. Get a red pen. Sit down at your kitchen table. Go line by line. Circle every single expense that did not keep you alive or make you money. Look at the subscriptions, the streaming service you haven't watched in 3 months, the gym membership you swore you'd use, the premium app upgrades. These are parasites. They are sucking $10, $20, $50 out of your account every month. Look at the food, the $15 lunches because you were too busy to pack a meal, the Uber Eats delivery fees, the $7 coffees. You might say, "Come on, it's just a coffee. I work hard. I deserve a treat." Stop it. This isn't about the coffee. It is about the mindset. That $7 coffee every day is $200 a month. If you invested that $200 a month into an S&P 500 index fund for 30 years, it would grow to over $400,000. Are you drinking a $400,000 cup of coffee? It's not about income, it's about discipline. When you spend money on things that don't matter, you are robbing your future self. You are taking bricks out of your foundation. I am not telling you to live in a cave and eat rice and beans forever. I am telling you to stop spending mindlessly. Cancel the subscriptions. Cook your food. Stop buying clothes to impress people you don't even like. Every dollar you save during this audit is not just a dollar saved. It is a soldier you have recruited for your freedom army. The enemy, consumer debt. Now let's talk about the single biggest destroyer of wealth in the United States, consumer debt. Credit cards, car loans, buy now, pay later schemes. These are chains. When you carry a balance on a credit card, you are paying 20, 25%, maybe even 30% interest. Do you understand what that means? You are working for the bank. They are your passive income source. You are the asset for the credit card company. They are sitting on a beach earning money while you stress out about making the minimum payment. You cannot invest your way out of bad debt. The stock market might give you an average of 8 to 10% returns per year. If your credit card is charging you 20%, you are mathematically guaranteed to lose. You are taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. That's the key. You must attack high-interest debt with the same intensity as a drowning person trying to reach the surface. Stop borrowing. Cut the cards up if you have to. If you have a car payment that is eating 20% of your monthly income, sell the car. But I need a nice car for my image. No, you don't. You need freedom. A paid-off Honda Civic drives better than a financed BMW because it doesn't come with stress. You don't need their permission to drive an older car. You don't need society's permission to live debt-free. Redefining necessity. The marketing industry spends billions of dollars a year to convince you that luxuries are necessities. They tell you that you need the new iPhone, you need the branded sneakers, you need the bigger house. This is called lifestyle creep. As soon as you get a raise, you spend it. You upgrade your lifestyle to match your income, leaving you with zero capital to invest. To escape the paycheck trap, you must break this cycle. You need to create a gap between what you earn and what you spend. This gap is where wealth is created. If you earn $4,000 a month and you spend $4,000 a month, you are running on a treadmill. If you earn $4,000 and you spend $3,000, you have $1,000 of potential energy. You need to fall in love with the gap. You need to get more excited about seeing your savings grow than you do about buying a new pair of shoes. The seed money, your first $1,000. Once you have plugged the leaks and stopped the bleeding, you will notice something amazing. You suddenly have money. The money that was going to Starbucks, Netflix, and credit card interest is now sitting in your account. Now we give that money a job. Your first mission is to accumulate your seed money. Let's set the target at $1,000. This is not your emergency fund. We will build that too. This is your freedom fund. This is the money we are going to use to buy your first asset. For many of you, having $1,000 cash that isn't earmarked for bills will feel strange. You will be tempted to spend it. Oh, the washing machine looks old, or I really need a vacation. Don't touch it. This $1,000 is the seed. If you eat the seed, you will never grow the tree. You need to protect this capital. Visualize this. That $1,000 is not paper. It is a collection of employees waiting for instructions. Right now, they are sitting in the break room doing nothing. In the next few chapters, we are going to send them out to work. We are going to send them to the stock market, or to a side business, or into a high-yield account. And they are going to come back with friends. But they can't work if you spend them. The foundation is set. Listen to me closely. This chapter is the filter. Most people will listen to this audiobook and nod their heads, but they won't do the audit. They won't cancel the subscriptions. They won't sell the car. They will say, "That's too hard. I'll just wait for a lucky break." Those people will be broke forever. But you are different. You are going to do the work tonight. You are going to stop bleeding cash. You are going to reclaim your income from the corporations and the banks. You are clearing the debris so you can build your castle. Now that you have stopped the bleeding and started accumulating your seed money, the question becomes, where do I put it? There are 1,000 ways to make passive income, but there is a hierarchy. Some methods are easy but low return. Others are high return but require work. You need to know exactly which game you are playing. In the next chapter, we are going to map out the landscape. We are going to look at the different types of income streams so you can choose the one that fits your life. Let's move to Chapter 3, the passive income hierarchy. Know your options.
Chapter 3, the passive income hierarchy. Know your options. Now that you have stopped the bleeding and saved your seed money, you are standing at the edge of a new world. You are holding your capital, your soldiers, and you are ready to deploy them. But where? The internet is flooded with noise. Make $10,000 a month filling out surveys. Become a crypto millionaire overnight. Drop shipping is the easy path to riches. Listen to me. 99% of what you see online is garbage. It is designed to sell you a course, not to build your wealth. If you jump into the wrong vehicle, you will not build passive income. You will just create a second job that you hate even more than your first one. You don't need another boss, and you certainly don't need to become a slave to an algorithm. To escape the paycheck trap, you need to understand the income hierarchy.
Not all money is created equal. Some money is hard, some money is smart. In this chapter, we are going to categorize the battlefield so you can choose the weapon that fits your life, your risk tolerance, and your goals. The 3 types of income. In the eyes of the IRS and the wealthy, there are 3 distinct types of income. You need to know the difference, or you will play the game blind. 1. Active income, earned income. This is where you are right now. This is your salary, your wages, your tips, your bonuses. It is linear. You work 1 hour, you get paid for 1 hour. If you stop working, the money stops. This is the hardest way to get rich because it is the most heavily taxed income in America. The government takes its cut before you even see the money. You cannot scale this. You cannot work 25 hours a day. You have a choice. Stay here and run on the hamster wheel forever, or use this income to buy the other 2 types. 2. Portfolio income. This is money made from capital gains. You buy a stock for $100 and you sell it for $150. You buy a house for $300,000 and you sell it for $400,000. This is better. The taxes are often lower and your money is doing the lifting. But there is a catch. You usually have to sell the asset to realize the profit. It's a one-time event. To get paid again, you have to find another deal. 3. Passive income. This is the holy grail. This is cash flow. This is money that comes in regularly, monthly, quarterly, annually, whether you get out of bed or not. Dividends from stocks, rent from tenants, royalties from books, profits from a business you own but do not manage. This income is often taxed at the lowest rates, or sometimes not at all, due to depreciation and loopholes. That's the key. The wealthy focus almost exclusively on building passive income. The fake passive income trap. Before we look at the hierarchy, I need to kill a myth that destroys many beginners: the side hustle trap. You see a video that says, make passive income driving for Uber, or start a dog walking business. Stop. That is not passive income. That is just a second active job. If you are driving the car, you are trading time for money. If you are walking the dog, you are trading time for money. There is nothing wrong with side hustles to generate quick cash to fund your investments. But do not fool yourself into thinking you are building freedom. You are just building exhaustion. It's not about income, it's about discipline. You must have the discipline to distinguish between hustling and investing. A true passive income system is one that eventually can run without you. If it requires your constant presence, you have just bought yourself a low-paying job. Tier 1, the low-hanging fruit, the lazy tier. Let's start with the easiest entry points. You can start these today, literally within the next hour. These are low risk, low effort, but also lower return. This is where your seed money from Chapter 2 goes first. The High Yield Savings Account, HYSA. Most Americans keep their savings in a standard checking account, earning 0.01%. That is criminal. The bank is taking your money, lending it out at 7%, and giving you crumbs. Move your emergency fund and your seed money into a high-yield savings account. Right now, you can find accounts paying 4% to 5%. This is free money. It requires zero work. If you have $10,000 sitting in a regular bank, you are losing hundreds of dollars a year in free interest. It takes 10 minutes to set up. Do it. Dividend stocks and REITs.
We will go deeper into this in Chapter 5, but this is the entry-level version of business ownership. When you buy a share of a dividend aristocrat, a company like Coca-Cola or Johnson & Johnson, you become a part owner. Every quarter, they send you a check. You don't have to go to the meetings, you don't have to manage the employees. You just hold the stock and they pay you. Is it going to make you rich overnight? No, but it is the psychological proof that money can work for you. Seeing that first $5 dividend hit your account while you were sleeping is a life-changing moment. Tier 2, the scalable systems, the wealth builders. Once you graduate from the lazy tier, you move to the serious systems. These require upfront work. You have to build the machine first. But once built, the machine runs on its own. Digital real estate. This is the modern gold rush. Creating content, ebooks, courses, or YouTube channels. Here is the beauty of digital assets. You make it once and you sell it forever. If you write a PDF guide on how to train your puppy and list it for sale, you put in the work one weekend, but that PDF can be sold 10,000 times over the next 5 years without you ever typing another word. That is scalability. That is leverage. You don't need their permission to stop being a service provider and start being a product creator. The goal of this audiobook is not just to make you a few extra bucks. It is to remove the link between your time and your income. The front-loading principle. I know what you're thinking, but this sounds like work. Yes, it is work, but it is a different kind of work. At your job, you work and you get paid. You stop working, you stop getting paid. In a passive income system, you front-load the effort. You work hard for a month or a year to build the system, receiving little to no pay. But once the system is live, it pays you for decades. You are planting an orchard. Digging the holes is hard. Watering the saplings is boring. You don't see any fruit for a long time. But one day, the trees are fully grown. Then you can sit in the shade and the fruit just falls into your lap. Most people quit while they are digging the holes because they are addicted to the instant gratification of a weekly paycheck. You have a choice. You can have the security of the paycheck now and the poverty of time later. Or you can accept the discomfort of building now for the luxury of freedom. Pick your lane. You cannot do everything at once. That is a recipe for failure. You need to look at the options we just discussed. Paper assets, stocks, dividends, HYSA. Easy, requires capital, slow growth. Real estate, rental properties. High leverage, high return, requires capital and credit. Digital assets, content, products, low capital, high time investment, infinite scale. Which one fits your current situation? If you have no money but lots of time, you should look at digital assets. If you have high income but no time, you should look at paper assets or real estate. In the next few chapters, we are going to break these down one by one, giving you the step-by-step mechanics of how to start. We are going to start with the one that requires the least amount of money, but offers the highest potential return for the modern American, the Internet. You are already online. You are already consuming content. It is time to switch sides of the screen. It is time to stop being the consumer and start being the creator. Let's move to Chapter 4, Digital Real Estate, Building Assets Online.
Chapter 4, Digital Real Estate, Building Assets Online. Welcome to the Great Equalizer. For centuries, if you wanted to build wealth, you needed land. You needed to be a lord, a baron, or a tycoon with enough capital to buy brick, mortar, and soil. The barrier to entry was massive. If you were born poor, you stayed poor. because you couldn't afford the entry fee to the game of ownership. That era is over. We are living in the single greatest time in human history to create wealth from scratch. The internet has destroyed the gatekeepers. It has flattened the playing field. Today, you can build a skyscraper without laying a single brick. You can own a storefront without paying rent. You can reach 1 million customers without hiring a sales team. This is the world of digital real estate. While physical real estate requires a down payment, credit checks, and maintenance, digital real estate requires something else: knowledge and attention. If you are listening to this, you have a smartphone, you have an internet connection. That means you have the same tools as a billionaire media mogul. The only difference is how you use them. You have a choice. You can use these tools to consume content, to watch cat videos and argue with strangers on Facebook, or you can use them to produce assets. You are either the customer or you are the business. Which side of the screen do you want to be on? The zero marginal cost of replication. Let's talk about why digital real estate is superior for the beginner. It comes down to one economic concept: zero marginal cost of replication. If you own a bakery and you want to sell 1,000 loaves of bread, you have to buy flour for 1,000 loaves. You have to bake 1,000 times. If you want to sell 10,000, your costs go up 10 times. Now, look at a digital product. Let's say you write a comprehensive PDF guide called the 30-Day Budget Reset. You spend 20 hours writing it, you spend $0 producing it. If you sell 1 copy, you make money. If you sell 1 million copies, do you have to do any extra work? No, the file just duplicates. The cost to deliver the product is 0. The profit margin is nearly 100%. That's the key. In the digital world, you decouple your effort from your output. You build the asset once, and the internet acts as your free distribution machine, cloning your work for every new customer. The content engine, monetizing what you know. But I'm not an expert. I don't have a PhD. Stop it. Imposter syndrome is keeping you broke. You do not need to be the world's leading expert to sell information. You just need to be one chapter ahead of the person you are helping. The market does not pay for credentials, it pays for solutions. Think about your life. What have you solved? Did you lose 30 pounds after pregnancy? Did you fix your credit score from 500 to 700? Did you train a stubborn dog? Did you learn how to meal prep for $50 a week? There are millions of people in the United States right now praying for a solution to the problem you have already solved. They are willing to pay for the shortcut. This is where you build your product. It could be an ebook, a video course, a template pack, or a paid newsletter. You package your solution into a digital format. You put a price tag on it, $27, $47, $97. You set up a simple landing page, and you sell it. You don't need their permission. You don't need a publisher to say your book is good enough. You don't need a university to certify your course. You just need to provide value. Affiliate marketing, the middleman strategy. Maybe you don't want to create a product yet. Maybe you don't feel ready to write a book. That is fine. You can start with affiliate marketing. This is the referral economy. Every day you recommend things to people. You tell your friend, you have to try this restaurant, or this pair of shoes is amazing. You are doing free marketing for those companies. Stop working for free. Affiliate marketing is simply getting paid for those recommendations. You sign up for an affiliate program, Amazon, software companies, course creators. They give you a unique link. When someone clicks your link and buys, you get a commission. But here is the secret. Don't sell low-ticket junk. If you recommend a $10 book on Amazon, you make 40 cents. You need to sell 1 million books to make a living. That is the hard way. Instead, look for high-ticket or recurring affiliate programs.
If you recommend a software subscription that costs $100 a month and they pay 30% commission, you make $30 a month every month as long as that person stays subscribed. If you get 100 people to sign up, that's $3,000 a month in passive income. All you did was connect a person with a problem to a product that solves it. The evergreen principle. The internet moves fast. A viral TikTok video dies in 24 hours. A tweet is forgotten in 20 minutes. If you chase trends, you are just creating a new hamster wheel. To build true passive income, you must focus on evergreen assets. Evergreen means it's relevant today and it will be relevant 5 years from now. How to invest in stocks is evergreen. What happened in the news yesterday is not. When you create content, whether it's a blog post, a YouTube video, or a podcast, make sure it answers a timeless question. I have YouTube videos that I uploaded 4 years ago. I haven't touched them since. But every single day, someone in America searches for that topic, finds my video, watches the ad, and clicks my affiliate link. I did the work once. I get paid 4 years later. This is the difference between a content creator and a digital landlord. A creator has to keep feeding the beast every day to stay relevant. A digital landlord builds assets that stand the test of time. It's not about income, it's about discipline. You must have the discipline to ignore the trending topics and focus on building a library of timeless value. The critical asset, the email list. Now, a warning. Do not build your castle on rented land. If you build your entire business on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, you are vulnerable. You do not own those platforms. Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk can change the algorithm tomorrow and wipe you out instantly. You must own your traffic. The only thing you truly own online is your email list. Every piece of content you create, every product you sell should have one goal: get their email address. Offer a free guide, a checklist, or a discount code in exchange for their email. When you have an email list, you have a direct line to your customers. No algorithm can stop you. If you want to make money, you send an email. It is an ATM that you control. If you take nothing else from this chapter, take this. Your net worth is directly tied to the size and quality of your email list. The ghost town phase. I need to manage your expectations. When you start building digital real estate, it will feel like you are shouting into the void. You will write the blog post and nobody will read it. You will launch the product and nobody will buy it. This is the ghost town phase. This is where 95% of people quit. They say, I tried it for 2 weeks and it didn't work. 2 weeks? You are trying to build a lifetime of freedom and you quit after 2 weeks? You have to push through the silence. You are building authority. The algorithm takes time to trust you. The audience takes time to find you. You must be consistent. You are laying bricks. One blog post is a brick. One video is a brick. One email is a brick. Eventually, you have a wall, then a room, then a castle. Transition. From active to passive. Digital real estate is powerful because it can generate massive amounts of cash with low overhead. It is the best way to generate new income. But it still requires maintenance. You have to update the product, you have to send the emails, you have to fix the website. It is not 100% passive. It is leveraged income. To achieve true coma-level passive income, where you could literally be in a coma and the money still grows, you need to move your money into the financial markets. You need to take the cash you earn from your digital real estate and dump it into the greatest wealth-building machine in human history, the stock market. But not the way the gamblers do it. We are not day trading. We are not betting on memes.
We are acting like owners. In the next chapter, we are going to demystify Wall Street. We are going to show you how to own the biggest companies in the world and let them work for you. Let's move to Chapter 5, the stock market generator, dividends and index funds.
Chapter 5, the stock market generator, dividends and index funds. If you walk up to the average American and say, the stock market, their heart rate goes up. They picture guys in suits screaming on a trading floor. They picture red lines crashing on a screen. They picture gambling, risk, and losing everything. This fear is keeping you poor. The wealthy do not fear the stock market. They respect it. They understand that the stock market is not a casino. It is a grocery store where you buy income streams. While you are working for money, the wealthy are letting the biggest companies in the world work for them. When you buy a share of stock, you are not buying a lottery ticket. You are buying a legal claim to the future profits of a business. When you buy a share of Apple, you are not just investing. You are hiring Tim Cook to work for you. You are hiring the thousands of engineers, the marketing team, and the sales force. They go to work every day to drive the stock price up and pay you a dividend while you sit on your couch. You have a choice. You can be the consumer who buys the iPhone and makes Apple rich. Or you can be the shareholder who owns Apple and lets them make you rich. In this chapter, we are going to strip away the jargon. We are going to ignore the day traders and the get-rich-quick crypto schemes. We are going to focus on the boring, reliable, unstoppable method of building wealth, index funds and dividends. The index fund, buying the haystack. The biggest mistake beginners make is trying to pick the next big thing. They try to find the needle in the haystack. They buy a penny stock because their cousin told them it was going to the moon. That is not investing. That is speculation. And the house always wins. The smartest investors in history, including Warren Buffett, recommend a different approach. Don't try to find the needle. Just buy the whole haystack. This is called an index fund. In the United States, the S&P 500 represents the 500 largest, most dominant companies in America. Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway. When you buy one share of the S&P 500 index fund, like VO or SPY, you are instantly buying a tiny piece of all 500 companies at once. If one company goes bankrupt, it doesn't matter. You have 499 others. If a new company becomes a giant, it gets added to the list automatically. You are betting on the American economy as a whole. History tells us one undeniable fact. Over the last 100 years, despite wars, recessions, pandemics, and inflation, the S&P 500 has gone up. It averages about 8 to 10% returns per year over the long run. Banks pay you 0.01%. The market pays you 10%. That's the key. You don't need to be smarter than the market. You just need to be in the market. You don't need to read balance sheets or watch CNBC. You just need to own the index. Dividends, the silent paycheck. Now let's talk about cash flow. Some companies are so profitable that they don't know what to do with all their cash. So they send it back to you. This is the closest thing to free money you will ever find. Imagine you own shares of Coca-Cola. People drink Coke every day. The company makes a profit. Every 3 months, Coca-Cola looks at its list of owners, that's you, and sends a direct deposit to your brokerage account. You didn't mix the soda. You didn't drive the delivery truck. You didn't stock the shelves. You just owned the asset. When you are just starting, these checks will be small, maybe $5 here, $10 there. You might laugh at them. I can't retire on $10. Do not mock the small beginnings. That $10 is the most important money you have ever earned. Why? Because it didn't require your time. It is proof of concept. If you can make $10 without working, you can make $100. If you can make $100, you can make $1,000. It is just a matter of volume. There are people who have built portfolios that pay them $50,000 or $100,000 a year in dividends alone. They never have to sell a single share. They just live off the quarterly checks. That is true financial independence. You don't need their permission to become an owner. You don't need a license. You can open a brokerage account on your phone in 5 minutes and buy your first dividend stock for the price of a pizza. Compound interest, the 8th wonder of the world. Albert Einstein is rumored to have called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. He said, "He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." Here's how it works. You invest $1,000. It earns 10%. That's $100. Now you have a total of $1,100. Next year, you earn 10% on the $1,100, which is $110. Now you have $1,210. It seems slow at first. This is the boring phase. But give it time. After 20 or 30 years, the curve goes vertical. The interest starts earning interest on the interest. This is the snowball effect. A snowball rolling down a hill starts the size of a fist. By the time it reaches the bottom, it is the size of a house, crushing everything in its path. But a snowball needs 2 things to grow: snow, money you add, and a long hill, time. You cannot force the hill to be longer. You cannot go back in time and start investing 10 years ago. But you can start today. Every day you wait is a day of compounding you never get back. The cost of procrastination is millions of dollars. A 20-year-old who invests $300 a month will have significantly more money at retirement than a 40-year-old who invests $1,000 a month. Time does the heavy lifting. The strategy is set it and forget it. So how do you execute this? Do you wait for the market to crash? Do you try to time the bottom? No. Market timing is for fools. The strategy is called dollar cost averaging, DCA. It means you invest the same amount of money on the same day, every single month, regardless of what the market is doing. Is the market up? You buy. Is the market down? You buy. It's on sale. Is the world ending? You buy. It's not about income. It's about discipline. You need to automate this. Go to your bank or your payroll provider. Set up an automatic transfer. As soon as your paycheck hits, $200 or whatever you can afford goes directly into your brokerage account and buys the index fund. You want to remove the human element. Humans are emotional. When the market crashes, your brain screams, "Sell." When the market is at an all-time high, your brain screams, "Buy." This is the opposite of what you should do. By automating it, you protect your wealth from your own psychology. You treat your investing like a bill. You pay your future self first, before you pay Netflix, before you pay the landlord, before you pay for dinner. The 401k match, the free money loophole. I cannot talk about the stock market without addressing the biggest loophole available to American employees, the 401k employer match. If your job offers a 401k match and you are not taking it, you are literally setting money on fire. If your employer says, "We will match 50% of your contributions up to 6% of your salary," that is an instant, guaranteed 50% return on investment. There is no investment in the world that guarantees a 50%.
Chapter 6. Real Estate Without the Headaches. The moment you mention real estate investing, most people flinch. They don't see wealth, they see headaches. They see broken toilets at 2 a.m. They see nightmare tenants refusing to pay rent. They see a mountain of paperwork and a massive down payment they can't afford. So they sit on the sidelines. They keep renting, paying someone else's mortgage while complaining that housing is too expensive. You have a choice. You can continue to be the tenant who makes someone else rich, or you can become the landlord who builds the equity. Real estate is the most proven path to wealth in American history. More millionaires have been created through property than any other asset class. Why? Because it is one of the few investments that allows you to use leverage. In this chapter, we are going to destroy the myth that you need to be rich or handy to own property. We are going to show you how to get into the game without needing a toolbox and without risking your life savings. The Power of Leverage, OPM. In Chapter 5, we talked about the stock market. If you want to buy $100,000 worth of Apple stock, how much money do you need? You need $100,000. Real estate is different. If you want to buy a $100,000 property, you don't need $100,000. You might only need $3,500 or $20,000. The bank provides the rest. This is called OPM, other people's money. This is the magic of good debt. Most people are terrified of debt because they only know bad debt. Credit cards, car loans, liabilities that drain your pocket. But good debt is different. Good debt puts money in your pocket. When you take out a mortgage to buy a rental property, you are not the one paying it back. The tenant is. You sign the papers, you take the risk, but the tenant goes to work every day to earn the money to pay your mortgage, your property taxes, and your insurance. And if you bought right, they pay you a little extra profit on top every month. 30 years later, the mortgage is gone. You own a free and clear asset worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you didn't pay for it. The tenant did. That's the key. You are using the bank's money to buy the asset and the tenant's income to pay for it. You are simply the architect of the deal. Strategy 1. House hacking, the cheat code. But I can't afford a 20% down payment. I hear this excuse every day. And in the United States, there is a loophole designed specifically for you. It is called the FH loan.
If you agree to live in the property for 1 year, the bank allows you to put down as little as 3.5%. Here is the strategy: house hacking. Don't buy a single-family home with a white picket fence. That is a liability. It takes money out of your pocket. Instead, buy a small multifamily property, a duplex, 2 units, triplex, 3 units, or fourplex. You live in 1 unit, you rent out the others. Let's do the math. You buy a duplex. The mortgage is $2,000 a month. You rent the other side to a neighbor for $1,500 a month. Your living expense is now $500. In many markets, if you buy a fourplex, the rent from the other 3 units will cover the entire mortgage plus profit. You are literally getting paid to live in your own house. This eliminates your biggest expense: housing. Most Americans spend 30 to 50% of their income on rent or mortgage. Imagine if that number went to 0. What could you do with that extra money? You could funnel it into the stock market. You could pay off debt. You could travel. It's not about income, it's about discipline. It requires the discipline to live in a slightly less glamorous neighborhood or share a wall with a neighbor for a few years. But that sacrifice sets you up for life. After a year, you move out, rent your old unit, and do it again. You are now building a portfolio of rentals with almost none of your own money. Strategy 2. Crowdfunded real estate. The lazy way. Maybe you are listening to this and thinking, I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to fix toilets. I don't want to talk to tenants. I get it. Not everyone wants to manage property. 10 years ago, you were out of luck. Today, thanks to the internet, you have real estate crowdfunding. Platforms like Fundrise, Realty Mogul, or Arrived Homes allow you to invest in massive commercial projects, apartment complexes, shopping centers, industrial parks with as little as $500. You are pooling your money with thousands of other investors. The platform hires professional management teams to fix the toilets, collect the rent, and handle the evictions. You just log into the app and watch your account grow. It is completely passive. You get the benefits of real estate cash flow and appreciation without the headaches of ownership. Is the return as high as house hacking? No, because you are paying a manager. But is it better than leaving your money in a bank account? Absolutely. You don't need their permission to become a real estate investor. You don't need a real estate license. You just need an internet connection and a bank account. The fear of the crash. I know the question lingering in your mind. What if the market crashes? What about 2008? Real estate markets go up and down. That is a fact. But here's the difference between a homeowner and an investor. A homeowner panics when the value drops because they think about selling. An investor doesn't care about the value dropping as long as the rent keeps coming in. If you buy a property for cash flow, meaning the rent covers the expenses with room to spare, the market value is irrelevant in the short term. If the house is worth $300,000 tomorrow and drops to $250,000, but the tenant still pays $2,000 a month in rent, you are fine. You don't lose money unless you sell. You just hold. You wait. History shows that real estate values recover eventually. Don't buy for appreciation, betting the price will go up. Buy for cash flow, income today. Appreciation is just the cherry on top. Getting over the handyman myth. Stop telling yourself you can't buy real estate because you don't know how to fix a leaky sink. I own properties and I don't own a plunger. I don't fix anything. You are not buying a job. You are buying a business. If a toilet breaks, you call a plumber. But that costs money. Yes, it does. And that cost is a tax-deductible expense against the income the property generates. Your job is not to do the work. Your job is to manage the asset. If you try to do everything yourself to save a buck, you are thinking like an employee. You are trading your time for money again. You have a choice. You can be the cheap landlord who spends his weekends painting walls, or you can be the wealthy investor who hires a professional so he can spend his weekends looking for the next deal. The barrier to entry is mental. The biggest barrier to real estate isn't money, it isn't credit, it's fear. It feels too big. It feels like something only rich people do. But look around you. Look at the duplexes in your town. Look at the small apartment buildings. Who owns them? Often it's just a regular guy named Bob who was a plumber or a teacher who decided 20 years ago to buy one building. Now Bob is retired and collecting checks while you stress about your 401k. Bob wasn't a genius. He just acted. You need to educate yourself. Read one book on rental property investing. Learn how to run the numbers. Learn what cap rate and cash-on-cash return mean. The math is not hard. It's fifth-grade arithmetic. Income minus expenses equals cash flow. Transition. We have covered a lot of ground. You have your seed money. You have your digital assets. You have your stock market engine. And now you understand the power of real estate leverage. You are building a machine. But a machine with this many moving parts can become a nightmare if you are trying to turn every crank and pull every lever by yourself. You will burn out. You will make mistakes. You will forget to pay a bill or miss an investment opportunity. We need to glue.
Chapter 7. Automate Your Life. The Systems Approach. We have spent the last 6 chapters building the engine. You know about the Paycheck Trap. You have stopped bleeding cash. You understand the hierarchy of income, digital assets, the stock market, and real estate. You are probably feeling motivated. You are ready to grind. You are ready to hustle. Stop. Motivation is garbage. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are fickle. You might be motivated today, but on a rainy Tuesday in November, when you are tired and stressed, motivation will not save you. Willpower is a battery. It drains throughout the day. If you rely on willpower to save money, invest, or build your business, you will fail. You will slip up. You will forget. To escape the trap permanently, you cannot rely on your own behavior. You are the weak link in the chain. Humans are emotional, forgetful, and easily distracted. To win, you must remove yourself from the equation. You need a system. You have a choice. You can wake up every day and try to manually push the boulder up the hill, or you can build a machine that pushes the boulder for you. In this chapter, we are going to apply the set it and forget it philosophy to your entire financial life. We are going to automate your wealth so that getting rich becomes the default setting, not a daily struggle. The autopilot architecture. The goal is simple: zero-touch wealth. I want you to set up a system where if you went into a coma for 6 months, you would wake up richer than when you went to sleep. Your bills would be paid, your investments would be funded, and your savings would be growing without you lifting a finger. Here is how we build the architecture. 1. The flow of funds. Most people do this backwards. They get paid, they spend money on bills and fun, and then they try to save whatever is left. There is never anything left. You need to reverse the flow. Log into your payroll provider at work. Most U.S. employers allow you to split your direct deposit. Account A, the Freedom Fund,
Have 20% of your paycheck sent directly to your investment or high-yield savings account. You never see this money. It is gone before it hits your checking account. Account B, the operating account. The remaining 80% goes to your checking account for bills and life. That's the key. If the money isn't in your checking account, you can't spend it. You learn to live on what lands in account B. You artificially restrict your supply of cash, forcing yourself to be disciplined without thinking about it. The autopilot account. Bill pays are a stupid tax. They are penalties for being disorganized. Every single recurring bill, utilities, internet, rent, insurance, must be set to autopay. Do not trust your memory. Link these to your credit card to get the points and set the credit card to autopay the full balance from account B every month. Now your credit score goes up because you never miss a payment and you never pay a dime in late fees. The investment feed. We discussed this in Chapter 5, but it bears repeating. Your brokerage account must be set to automatically pull money from account A on the 1st and the 15th of every month and buy your index funds. Do not look at the price. Do not read the news. Just let the robot buy. Eliminating decision fatigue. Why did Steve Jobs wear the same black turtleneck every day? Why does Mark Zuckerberg wear the same gray t-shirt every day? It's not because they have no fashion sense. It is because they understand decision fatigue. Your brain has a finite number of good decisions it can make in a day. Every time you decide what to eat, what to wear, or whether to transfer $50 to savings, you burn mental energy. By 5 p.m., your decision-making battery is empty. That is why you order pizza and skip the gym in the evening. Wealthy people automate the trivial decisions so they can focus on the big ones. It's not about income, it's about discipline. But true discipline is creating an environment where you don't need discipline. If you have to decide every month, should I invest $500? You will eventually decide no, because you want a new TV. If the decision is already made by a computer program, you are free. The hourly rate mindset. Now, let's talk about your time. If you want to be wealthy, you must stop acting like a martyr. You must stop trying to do everything yourself. You need to calculate your aspirational hourly rate. Let's say you want to make $200,000 a year. That is roughly $100 an hour. If you are spending your Saturday morning mowing the lawn, cleaning the house, or arguing with a customer service rep for 45 minutes to save $5, you are losing money. If you can pay a neighborhood kid $40 to mow the lawn, which takes 2 hours, and your time is worth $100 an hour, you have bought 2 hours for $40. You made a profit of $160 if you use that time to build your passive income system. This is where outsourcing comes in. You are the CEO of your life. Does the CEO of Apple empty the trash cans? Does the CEO of Amazon answer customer support emails? No. They hire people to do that so they can focus on strategy. You don't need their permission to hire help. You don't need to be a millionaire to hire a cleaner once a month or a virtual assistant for 5 hours a week. If a task can be done by someone else for less than your hourly rate, outsource it. Grocery shopping? Use Instacart. Cleaning? Hire a service. Taxes? Hire a CPA. But that costs money. Yes, it costs money to buy time, and time is the only resource you can't regenerate. If you are serious about escaping the paycheck trap, you need those hours to build your side business or research real estate deals. The 4-hour mental model. Tim Ferriss made the concept of the 4-hour workweek famous. The title is catchy, but the principle is what matters. It is the framework of EAD. Eliminate. Before you automate anything, ask, does this need to be done at all? Most of what you do is busy work. Stop checking email every 10 minutes. Stop attending useless meetings. Cut the fat. Automate. If it must be done, can a machine do it? Can software handle your scheduling? Can an app track your expenses? Delegate. If a machine can't do it, can a human do it for a lower cost than your hourly rate? Do. Only do what is left. This is the work that only you can do. This is high-value work. The danger of complexity. As you build your wealth, your life will get more complex. You will have multiple bank accounts, LLCs, properties, and income streams. Complexity is the enemy of execution. If your system is too hard to manage, you will abandon it. Keep it simple. One login for your finances. Use an aggregator tool like Mint, YNAB, or Monarch Money. One day a month to review your net worth statement. One strategy for investing. Do not create a Rube Goldberg machine of finances. If you die tomorrow, your spouse or family should be able to figure out your system in 1 hour. If they can't, you have failed. Tech as leverage. We live in the golden age of financial technology, fintech. Use it. Calendar blocking. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. Schedule your money date with yourself. Project management. Use Trello or Notion to track your passive income projects. Password managers. Use LastPass or 1Password. Do not waste brain cells remembering passwords. These tools are your employees. They work 24/7, they don't complain, and they don't ask for a raise. Transition. By automating your finances, you have done something dangerous. You have made saving money painless. You have made investing invisible. You are going to look up in a year and realize you have more money than you have ever had in your life. And that brings us to the biggest trap of all, the trap that catches people after they start succeeding. When the numbers in your bank account go up, a voice in your head will start whispering. It will say, "You worked hard. You deserve a new car. You deserve a bigger house. You deserve to look rich." This is the siren song of lifestyle creep. It has destroyed lottery winners, pro athletes, and high-income earners. If you do not master the psychology of enough, your system will just pump money into a bucket that gets bigger and bigger holes. In the next chapter, we are going to talk about how to stay rich. We are going to tackle the silent killer of wealth and teach you how to live like a king without spending like a fool. Let's move to Chapter 8, The Trap of Lifestyle Creep.
Chapter 8. The Trap of Lifestyle Creep. Congratulations! You are making progress. If you have followed the steps in this audiobook, your financial life is changing. You have plugged the leaks. You have started a side hustle. Your investments are automated. The numbers in your bank account are getting bigger. And now, you are facing the most dangerous moment of your financial journey. You are about to walk into a trap that has destroyed more wealth than stock market crashes, divorces, and lawsuits combined. It is called lifestyle creep. You know this story. You see it in the headlines. The heavyweight boxer who made $300 million and ended up bankrupt. The lottery winner who is back in the trailer park 3 years later. The rapper who has a fleet of Ferraris but owes the IRS millions. You look at them and think, how can they be so stupid? If I had that money, I would be set for life. Don't be so arrogant. The same psychological virus that infected them is waiting for you. It is the voice that whispers, "You work hard. You deserve it." You get a $10,000 raise at work. Suddenly your Toyota doesn't feel good enough. You need the Lexus. You get a bonus. Suddenly your apartment feels small. You need the house with the guest room. You make your first $5,000 month online. Suddenly, cooking at home is for peasants. You need to eat at steakhouses. Your income went up, but your savings didn't. Why? Because your lifestyle expanded to fill the void.
You have a choice. You can look rich or you can be rich. In the United States, it is almost impossible to do both at the same time until you are multimillionaire. The golden handcuffs. Lifestyle creep is insidious because it feels like progress. It feels like the American dream. I'm making more money, so I should live better, right? Wrong. When you upgrade your lifestyle every time you get a raise, you are tightening the golden handcuffs. Let's say you were living on $4,000 a month. You hated your job, but you survived. Then you get a promotion to $6,000 a month. You immediately lease a BMW for $600, move to a luxury apartment for an extra $800, and start buying designer clothes. Now your expenses are $6,000 a month. Are you freer? No. You are more trapped than before. When your expenses were low, you could have quit your job and survived on savings. Now, you need that high-paying job just to pay for the car and the apartment. You cannot quit. You cannot take a risk. You are a slave to your own overhead. That's the key. True wealth is low overhead. The lower your monthly expenses, the less money you need to be free, and the faster you reach your freedom number. The Diderot effect. In the 18th century, the philosopher Diderot lived a simple life. Then someone gifted him a beautiful scarlet robe. He loved the robe, but when he put it on, he noticed his old rug looked terrible in comparison. So he bought a new rug. Then his chair looked cheap, so he bought a new chair. Then he needed a new desk, new art, new mirrors. Soon he was in debt. This is the Diderot effect. One new luxury purchase forces you to upgrade everything else to match it. You buy the new iPhone, now you need the AirPods, and the Apple Watch, and the fast charger. You buy the nice house. Now you need the landscaping service, and the expensive furniture, and the pool cleaner. You must identify this spiral before it starts. When you feel the urge to upgrade one part of your life, ask yourself, is this a one-time cost, or is this a commitment to a more expensive life? The wealth gap. To escape the trap, you must fall in love with the wealth gap. The gap is the difference between your income and your expenses. Poor people have no gap. Income equals expenses. Middle-class people have a small gap, but they close it as soon as they get a raise. Wealthy people widen the gap. When a wealthy person gets a raise, they keep their lifestyle exactly the same. They shovel 100% of that new money into assets. Here's a rule for you. The 50% rule. I'm a realist. I know you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So, make a deal with yourself. Every time your income increases, whether it's a raise, a bonus, or side hustle profit, you split it down the middle. 50% goes directly into your freedom fund, investments. 50% can go towards lifestyle upgrades. If you get a $10,000 bonus, invest $5,000 immediately. Blow the other $5,000 on a vacation or a watch. This way, you satisfy the urge to spend, but you also guarantee that your net worth increases. You are rewarding your present self and your future self equally. The Joneses are broke. We are social animals. We look at our neighbors, our coworkers, and our friends to judge how well we are doing. You see your neighbor pull up in a new brand $80,000 truck. You think, wow, he's doing well. Let me tell you a secret about the American consumer. The Joneses are broke. That guy with the $80,000 truck, he has an $1,100 monthly payment. He has $14,000 in credit card debt. He has zero savings. He is stressed out of his mind. He is financing an image of wealth to impress people he doesn't even like. Do not envy the spenders. Pity them. They are eating their seed corn. It's not about income. It's about discipline. You have to be comfortable being the eccentric one. Be the guy who drives a 5-year-old Honda but owns the apartment complex the guy in the BMW rents from. Be the girl who wears simple clothes but has a 6-figure stock portfolio. Wealth whispers. Poverty screams. Don't eat the seeds. I want you to visualize your money as seeds. Every dollar you earn is a seed. You can eat the seed, spend it on a dinner, a shoe, a gadget. It tastes good for a moment, but then it is gone forever. It turns into waste. Or you can plant the seed. Invest it. If you plant it, it grows into a corn stalk. That stalk produces hundreds of new seeds. Now you can eat some of the new seeds and plant the rest. The problem with lifestyle creep is that you're eating the seeds before they even hit the ground. You are causing a famine in your future to have a feast today. You don't need their permission to opt out of consumer culture. Marketing agencies have spent billions to brainwash you into thinking that buying stuff equals happiness. It is a lie. Buying stuff gives you a dopamine hit that lasts about 48 hours. Then it fades, and you are left with the bill. Buying freedom, buying the ability to wake up and do whatever you want, that happiness never fades. The luxury rule. Does this mean you can never have nice things? Can you never buy the Porsche? No, you can have the Porsche, but you cannot pay for it with your labor. Here is the luxury rule. Your active income pays for your needs. Your passive income pays for your wants. You want that $60,000 luxury car? Fine. Do not use your salary to buy it. Instead, take that $60,000 and buy a rental property or a dividend portfolio. Wait for the cash flow from that asset to equal the monthly car payment. Then use the passive income to pay for the car. If you do this, you get the car, but you keep the principal. You keep the golden goose, you just eat the egg. If you buy the car with cash from your job, you have killed the goose. Delayed gratification. This all comes down to one psychological trait: delayed gratification. Stanford University did a famous study called the marshmallow test. They put a marshmallow in front of a child and said, "You can eat this now, but if you wait 15 minutes, I will give you 2 marshmallows." They tracked those kids for decades. The kids who couldn't wait, they struggled in life. Lower test scores, much higher debt, unstable relationships. The kids who waited, they became successful. They were healthier, wealthier, and happier. Lifestyle creep is the adult version of eating the marshmallow. You have to train your brain to wait. The second marshmallow, financial freedom, is worth infinitely more than the instant gratification of a new toy. Transition. You are now armed against the internal enemy. You know how to stop your own psychology from sabotaging your wealth. But there are external enemies too. As your wealth grows, you become a target. The markets can turn against you. Scammers will try to trick you. Taxes will try to drain you. And if you aren't careful, a single lawsuit or medical emergency could wipe out everything you have built. You have built the castle. Now you need to dig the moat. In the next chapter, we are going to talk about defense. We are going to discuss how to protect your engine from blowing up so that your wealth lasts for generations. Let's move to Chapter 9. Protect your engine.
Chapter 9. Protect your engine. Risk management. You have spent 8 chapters playing offense. You have learned how to score points. You have learned how to make money, save money, and invest money. But here is a brutal truth about the game of wealth. Offense wins games, but defense wins championships. You can build $1 million portfolio in 10 years, and you can lose it in 10 seconds. One lawsuit, one medical emergency, one market crash that you panic sold into,
One guaranteed investment scam. That is all it takes to reset your counter to zero. Most people are so obsessed with getting rich that they forget to stay rich. They drive the car at 150 miles per hour, but they never checked the brakes. In this chapter, we are going to build your defense. We are going to dig a moat around your castle, so deep and so wide that no economic disaster, no lawyer, and no thief can touch you. You have a choice. You can leave your door unlocked and hope for the best, or you can bolt it shut and know you are safe. The cash buffer, your panic button. We talked about the seed money in Chapter 2. That was to get you started. Now we need to talk about the emergency fund. In the United States, medical bankruptcy is the #1 cause of financial ruin. A car accident, a cancer diagnosis, or a layoff can happen to anyone. If you live paycheck to paycheck, these events are catastrophes. If you have cash, they are mere inconveniences. You need a shield. Your emergency fund is 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account. Do not invest this money. Do not put it in the stock market. Do not buy crypto with it. But inflation is eating it. I don't care. This money has a job. Its job is not to make you rich. Its job is to save your life. This cash buys you 2 things. Safety. If the water heater explodes, you don't have to go into credit card debt to fix it. Psychology. When you know you have $20,000 in the bank, you walk differently. You don't tolerate a toxic boss because you aren't afraid of being fired. You don't panic when the stock market drops because you don't need to sell your shares to eat. That's the key. Liquidity prevents bad decisions. When you are desperate for cash, you make stupid choices. When you have a buffer, you make rational choices. Diversification. Don't bet the farm. There is an old saying on Wall Street: concentration builds wealth, diversification preserves it. While you are building, you might focus heavily on one thing, like your side business or real estate. But once you have something to lose, you must spread your bets. Never have 100% of your net worth in one asset class. If you have all your money in crypto and Bitcoin crashes, you are wiped out. If you have all your money in one rental property and it burns down and insurance denies the claim, you are wiped out. If you have all your money in your employer's stock, like Enron employees did, and the company goes under, you lose your job and your retirement. You need a tripod. A stool with 3 legs does not fall over. Leg 1, the stock market, index funds. Leg 2, real estate, physical or REITs. Leg 3, cash, bonds, stability. If the stock market crashes, your rentals still pay rent. If the housing market crashes, your cash is safe. It's not about income. It's about discipline. You must have the discipline to not chase the hot asset with every dollar you own. Be boring. Boring makes money. Exciting loses money. Insurance, the necessary evil. Nobody likes paying for insurance. It feels like throwing money away. Until you need it. Then it is the best return on investment in the world. In the U.S., you are walking through a minefield of liability. You need to wear armor. Health insurance, non-negotiable. One trip to the ER can cost $50,000. If you are self-employed, this is expensive, but bankruptcy is more expensive.
Auto insurance. Do not get the state minimum liability. If you hit a surgeon in a Mercedes, the minimum won't cover it, and they will sue you for your personal assets. Increase your liability limits. Term life insurance. If anyone relies on your income, spouse, kids, you need this. If you die, your passive income system might not be fully built yet. This pays off the house and feeds your family. Warning: avoid whole life or universal life insurance unless you are ultra wealthy, net worth 10 million plus. For 99% of people, these are expensive products with high commissions for the salesman. Buy term and invest the difference. You don't need their permission to say no to an insurance salesman trying to sell you a complex product you don't understand. Keep it simple. Buy pure protection. The umbrella policy. Here's a secret of the wealthy that costs almost nothing. It is called an umbrella policy. Standard insurance covers you up to a certain limit, say $300,000. If you get sued for $1 million, the insurance pays $300,000, and the other $700,000 comes from your retirement account and your house. An umbrella policy sits on top of your other insurance. It kicks in when the others run out. You can get $1 million of extra coverage for about $200 to $300 a year. That is less than $1 a day to protect your entire empire. Get it? Scam avoidance, the greed filter. As you start making money, you will attract sharks. They will slide into your DMs. They will appear in your YouTube ads. Guaranteed 10% monthly returns. My proprietary trading bot never loses. Ground floor opportunity. Listen to me. If it sounds too good to be true, it is a trap. There is no such thing as a guaranteed high return. The risk-free rate is what the U.S. government pays, Treasury bonds, which is usually 3 to 5%. If someone promises you 10% per month, which is 300% per year compounding, they are either lying or they are running a Ponzi scheme. When you feel that itch of greed, that desire to double your money fast, stop. That is your emotional brain trying to sabotage you. Run your investments through the grandma test. Can you explain how it makes money to your grandmother in 2 minutes? Real estate. I rent the house, they pay me. Passes. Stocks. I own a piece of McDonald's, they sell burgers, they pay me. Passes. Crypto yield farming scheme? Well, I stake the token on the protocol to provide liquidity for the fails. If you don't understand it, don't buy it. Warren Buffett avoids tech stocks he doesn't understand. If the greatest investor in history can say, "I don't know," so can you. Legal defense, LLCs, and anonymity. When you own assets, don't own them in your own name if you can avoid it. If a tenant slips and falls in your rental property and sues John Smith, they can come after John Smith's personal car and personal bank account. If they sue Smith Holdings LLC, they can only get what is inside the LLC. Your personal life is walled off. This is called the corporate veil. Setting up an LLC costs a few $100s in most states. It is cheap insurance. Also, practice silence. Stealth wealth. Stop posting your wins on social media. Stop bragging about how much your portfolio grew. When you flash money, you attract 2 groups. Friends and family asking for loans, thieves and scammers looking for marks. Look poor, be rich. The greatest risk, you. Finally, we must address the biggest risk to your wealth. It isn't the market, it isn't the IRS. It is you.
You are the one who clicks the sell button when the market crashes. You are the one who gets bored and gambles on a risky startup. You are the one who forgets to renew the insurance policy. You must protect your wealth from your own emotions. This goes back to Chapter 7.
Chapter 10. The Exit Strategy. Claiming Your Freedom. This is it, the final chapter. You have traveled a long way. We started by admitting the hard truth, that trading time for money is a trap. We stopped the bleeding. We built the engines of digital assets, stocks, and real estate. We automated the system and dug the moat to protect it. Now we arrive at the destination. Most people never get here. Most people spend their entire lives looking at the mountain, complaining about the climb, but never taking the first step. But you are here. You have the blueprint. Now you have to answer the most terrifying question of all. What happens when I actually catch the car? What happens when the passive income exceeds your bills? In this final chapter, we are going to calculate your crossover point, plan your escape from the workforce, and define what a life of true freedom actually looks like. The crossover point, Financial Independence Day. There is a specific day in your future, a Tuesday, a Friday, it doesn't matter, where the math changes forever. We call this the crossover point. On the left side of the graph is your monthly living expenses, let's say $5,000. On the right is your monthly passive income. For years, the income bar was small. It was $50, then $200, then $1,000. But because of the compound effect and your consistent effort, that bar has been growing. The moment your passive income hits $5,001, you are free. You are financially independent. At that exact second, your job becomes optional. Your commute becomes optional. Your alarm clock becomes optional. That's the key. You don't have to quit that day, but the power dynamic shifts completely. You are no longer an employee who needs a paycheck to survive. You are a volunteer. You are walking into the office because you choose to be there. And let me tell you, the air smells different when you don't need the money. You speak your mind. You take risks. You become the CEO of your own life. The 1 more year syndrome. Here is a warning. When you reach the crossover point, you will face a psychological demon. It is called 1 more year syndrome. You will look at your bank account and say, I have enough, but maybe I should work just 1 more year to be safe. Maybe I should get to $2 million instead of $1.5 million. Then 1 year becomes 2. 2 becomes 5. Suddenly, you are the richest person in the graveyard. You are doing this because you are afraid. You have spent 20, 30, or 40 years being told what to do. You are institutionalized. The idea of total freedom is scary. You don't know who you are without your job title. You have a choice. You can continue to trade your life for money you don't need, or you can trust the system you built. Remember, you can always make more money. You can never make more time. Do not sell your freedom back to the system out of fear. Designing your exit. How do you leave? Do you march into your boss's office, flip the desk, and walk out? No, that is for the movies. We are professionals. You have 3 options for your exit strategy. 1. The hard stop. Financial independence, retire early. You put in your 2 weeks' notice. You walk away. You spend your days traveling, raising your kids, or pursuing hobbies. This is for the person who hates their corporate job and wants total autonomy. 2. The pivot. Passion work. This is what most successful people actually do. They don't stop working. They stop doing work they hate. Maybe you quit your high-stress corporate law job to become a woodworker. Maybe you start a nonprofit. Maybe you teach. You might make 90% less money, but you don't care because your passive income pays the bills.
The work pays your soul. The barista fire. You quit the high-pressure career and take a low-stress, part-time job, like a barista, just to get health insurance or to get out of the house. Your portfolio does the heavy lifting, and your part-time job covers the groceries. You don't need their permission to redefine what retirement means. It doesn't mean playing golf until you die. It means waking up and asking, "What do I want to do today?" and actually doing it. The legacy. Money is just fuel. I want to end this journey by reminding you of the purpose of wealth. Money is not the goal. If you die with $10 million in the bank and no memories, no relationships, and no impact, you failed. You were just a glorified bank account for your heirs. Money is fuel. It is a tool to buy experiences, health, and generosity. Use it. Take your family on that trip while your parents are still mobile. Pay for the surgery your friend needs. Donate to the cause that breaks your heart. Buy the highest quality food to fuel your body. The ultimate flex is not a Lamborghini. The ultimate flex is being able to be present. To pick your kids up from school every day at 3 p.m. because you don't have a boss. To sit with a sick relative without worrying about using up your vacation days. It's not about income, it's about discipline. But the discipline was just the price of admission. The prize is a life lived on your own terms. The rocking chair test. If you are still hesitating, I want you to take the rocking chair test. Imagine you are 90 years old. You are sitting on your porch in a rocking chair. Your life is behind you. You cannot change anything. What will you regret? Will you regret trying to build a business and failing? Probably not. Will you regret buying a rental property that was a bit of a headache? No. You will regret the safety. You will regret staying in the job you hated for 10 years too long. You will regret the trips you didn't take. You will regret trading your prime years for a paycheck that is long gone. You are not 90 yet. You still have time to change the ending of the movie. But the clock is ticking. The Paycheck Trap is waiting for you on Monday morning. Are you going to walk back into the cage, or are you going to start digging your tunnel? Closing. Final audio segment. Tone, inspiring, urgent, slowing down for impact. You have reached the end of this audiobook, but you are at the beginning of your life. You now possess the knowledge that less than 1% of the population understands. You know how the system is rigged, and you know exactly how to beat it. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. If you close this book and do nothing, nothing changes. Monday will still come. The bills will still come. The trap will remain closed. Do not let that happen. Pick one thing from this book, just one. Open the high-yield savings account. Buy the first index fund. List the first item for sale online. Cut the first credit card. Take the first step today. Not tomorrow, today. Your future self is watching you right now, begging you to be brave. The door is open. The path is clear. Escape the trap and go live the life you were meant to live. End of audiobook.
You now have the blueprint. You understand that the Paycheck Trap is a cycle designed to keep you running but never moving forward. But understanding is not enough. Action is everything. The system works, but only if you build it. Your first passive income stream doesn't need to be $1 million. It just needs to be $1 that you didn't have to work for. That first dollar is proof that freedom is possible. Do not close this audiobook and go back to sleep. Pick one method we discussed. Open the account. Write the first page. Buy the first share. Plant the first seed today. Your future self is begging you to start. The trap is open. The choice is yours. Walk out.